Yeah, hi everyone, welcome back to Katarina's Garage. My name is Katarina Lloyd, and today, well, I'm going to be doing something a little interesting of trying to combine a couple elements of center consoles, because I did have one in my parts car, so I'm like, you know what, why not put a center console in this thing? Eventually I might just ditch this idea and go completely custom with it, but for now, because as you can see in this car, no, it's a little bit of a mess in here still. I still need to clean it. However, so I have, the manual transmission in the car. I took the knob off already, and I might need to take the boot off, but I don't think I do. And this was not a center console car. And if you want to know how you can tell if you have a center console car or not, is the non-center console cars will have the cigarette lighter here with the ashtray that goes down like that. While the center consoles actually have the built-in ashtray and cigarette lighter themselves. But you might be thinking, what are you going to customize on that? So I have these cup holders here with a little bit of storage there, which most of that's going to go into the thing itself. But I want to chop off the front of it, and I'll show you what I mean in a bit. And just see if I can make it all fit properly. Because, these center consoles aren't worth a ton of money anyways. It's a little beat up anyways, but also let me show you something else too that I want to do, because you see, this right here is kind of interesting, and I'll actually bring it over to the center console. Just give me one moment here. So if we take a look at the center console over here, you can see what I was talking about with so the ashtray is right here, and the cigarette lighter's over here. However, I'm going to because I don't need any of this computerized stuff, which, to be honest, all this really is a low fuel light, if your tail lamps are having an issue, headlamp, or washer fluid's low, and it also has a built-in clock, but I don't really care about that stuff, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is I have a Sawzall over here, and I'm going to cut off right about here. Right, so I might want to take this insert out to make sure I don't break it, but I might be okay to cut around it. But and then it won't be perfect. Once I get it up to Edmonton and borrow my friend's files, I'll file it down and make it look a little nicer. However, something else that I want to do, so I get that out of there, because this, and you may be wondering, well, why do I want this? So I will have to cut off this piece here, because it's actually out of an SN95, and the reason why I want this, even though I've got two cup holders, it will fit in this hole, it just needs to be trimmed a bunch. So, yeah, this whole side here and a few other spots on this thing will definitely need to be trimmed up. But, once I do that, and the reason why I want to do this is because it's got a built-in metal cup holder that goes out like this, and like that. Right? Super cool. And this is actually, it's proper metal, right? So that's the cool part about this. And this is actually kind of a rare thing from early SN95 Mustangs. Because apparently, these were only offered for a couple of years, and then they got rid of it for some reason. I don't know why. Now, the e-brake is a little different on those, so it might interfere a little bit, but I'll still be able to use the cup holder. So, I'll just leave it in gear far more often than I need to. Now, if we look at the bottom of this, though, there is a bunch of wiring, but honestly, I don't really care about it. I might just end up cutting through a lot of this, because I don't feel like unhooking. I might. I don't know. We'll see. But, actually, where I'm cutting, I won't cut any of those wires, so no, we should be okay. So, if anybody needs stuff, we can make that work. But, yeah, anyways, let's see how this goes. Worst case scenario is I just mess this up and it's not a big deal. Because, again, it's a little beat up, as you can tell. It's not exactly mint. It's got a bunch of scratches and stuff like that on it. So I don't really mind cutting this one up. If it was a mint example, like this thing was perfectly mint condition, whatever else, I wouldn't be doing this. But because of that, it's one of these things. So, yeah. Anyways, let's have some fun here with demolition. And lo and behold, look at that. It's chopped off the front here. So, it's over there, which I unhooked everything that I could. Like, it's interesting because there's no wires that actually go through that, so it's kind of nice. So I didn't cut through any of that. So I have all of this here, which looks to be all in good shape, actually. So, you know, if anybody's looking for, you know, any of that, let me know. I might be able to sell it to you. But, yeah, now to see if that was enough to get that into the car and still have the cup holders installed. Nowhere near done because it's not mounted yet, but, you know, it's in. And I just need to trim it up a little bit more up front, but basically I'll use a file on that, or when I'm at Keith's, I'll just take it straight to his bench grinder. And then I need to get an insert for here, but this is looking so much better than it was before. You know, this doesn't latch, but they almost never do. And yeah, like, it's currently not mounted, as you can see. But so I won't mess with the cup holder thing yet, although I'm gonna see, because I might be able to take it apart and just add it to this. So we'll see, because this doesn't latch anyway, so it's not a big deal. Well, so it's not as pretty as I would have liked for now, because I don't have obviously the center thing to remove this, but it is mounted. Like, it's still moving around, because I didn't realize. So when these things have the full thing, and unfortunately I don't have the plate here because it fell apart on me, so sadly. So I'll have to find another one of those, and I'll have to find one of these, but hey, I got a center console now at least. But because you can kind of see it, I need to get out of the car to show you this properly. So you can see here of this kind of teetering effect that it's having right now, right? Because it should be sitting more like that, give or take, or maybe like that. I don't know 100% exactly how these things go into place properly. But because I cut the front end of it off, I think the back end kind of levels this thing out properly. So, crap. I'll have to figure something out. Like, I think I'll have to just put this all the way down, put, like a piece of wood or like a piece of metal or something like that that's thick enough to sit under there, and then drill the holes into that, because it's only held in by those two screws currently, which are self-tapping screws. So yeah, and then that'll all be good. It's just, yeah, it's coming along. It's just not as good as I would have liked, but yeah, although right now, because I don't have anything to try and shove under there, so I'm going to be working on adding the other cup holder, which will go in there. So let's see how this goes. Alright, so I have been meaning to actually finish this for a while, but I haven't been able to. So, as you saw earlier in the other clips, I've been working on getting a center console in my car. It's been in the car. It's not fully mounted yet, but I did make some massive improvements to it that, honestly, like, and anybody who doesn't actually want their computer in the car, like, the computer system out front there on these Foxbodies, you can honestly just cut it off. It's not a big deal. You know, like mine is a little different because this was never a center console car to begin with. So me cutting that off and adding cup holders, I already have the cigarette lighter that's in its original place. If you're doing this on a center console car, you'll have to move the cigarette lighter because it's part of the center console. So do bear that in mind. But anyways, let's take a look at exactly what I did here, because it's honestly quite neat. And sorry, the car's a little dirty right now. Again, when it's winter time, your car gets a little dirty just from daily driving it. I need to clean out some of the stuff. Some of it's from last night, which I was going to clean out today. So, it's very tight in this garage. Very tight. But if we take a look, and as I blind myself, so actually I need to get you off the stand. Give me one moment here. So if we take a look, I actually had to notch the this thing because the center console is actually moved back, but you can't really tell that up front. And unfortunately, like, it's a little chipped here. This is not actually screwed in place yet, but you know, again, it's there. And like I said, I just took it over to the bench grinder and did that. And then up front here, I've got the proper bezel. But to get that bezel in properly, I had to, if I take the bezel out really quick here, you'll see what I had to do. So with this, the cup holders that I got, and again, I got these out of a junkyard. But anyways, I took this over to the bench grinder as well, and got rid of all that middle section there, right? And then this, honestly, because I don't have a way to properly mount this, as you saw, because where it's supposed to mount up here, like on these two things there, unfortunately, I cut that away. And I might be able to, because I still kept all of that for a reason, so I might be able to glue it back on and be fine. But honestly, that's where I'm at with this, to be honest. It's, you know, it's kind of, honestly, I'm done with it for now, but it might change in the future. We'll see. Because again, it's not really, like, it's good enough for me for now, but I do want to fill up the space a little bit, which I'd have to probably grind that back as well. It's not actually screwed into place. It's supposed to be, but it's not. The cup holders, but they don't move, so they're a good enough weight. So yeah, and I've tested it and it works really well. The placement of a cup is really good with the radio, so I don't have any issues there. But yeah, like if you're wanting to do this yourself, you can 100%. It takes a little bit of work, and for me, it's definitely worth it to have cup holders in your car, because now the later Fox bodies that have the so if you know anything about the Aero Mustangs, which went from 87 to 93, they actually had their instead of it being dead center for the handbrake, they moved it over. So they actually moved where the ashtray was. Instead of up front, it was beside. And I think this LMR actually makes a kit that you can actually put cup holders in the car. Now, it's expensive. It's like $200 or $300 or something like that. Like, it's not cheap. So do consider that if you're wanting to do that. But that's the easiest way to do it. However, the custom way, just like nobody's going to ever see another one quite like this, right? So it's just kind of a unique thing for me. So yeah, anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this, and yeah, like, it's not done, but it's good enough for me for now, because it will be properly fixed later, or properly. Anyways, and there's stuff that I want to do with that console. Oh, the light, I think, may have just burned out. Anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, you know, all that spiel. Every little bit helps me to give you guys further content. So anyways, I love you all. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye! Pikachu!